Welcome to the MENA Surge podcast, the ultimate source for all things Web3 and FinTech related in the MENA region. Powered by FinTech Surge and Future Blockchain Summit, taking place at Dubai Harbour, October 15th through 18th, alongside Expand North Star and in association with GITEX Global. I'm happy to be joined by our partners today from Cointelegraph MENA.
Cointelegraph is the leading Web3 publication covering all the latest trends in blockchain, Web3, and FinTech for the region. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Nishata Saxdev, the Creative Director at Cointelegraph MENA. Today I have a special guest, Nino, here, who will be talking about AI and NFTs. So Nino, I just want to give the audience a quick background about you and mainly how did you get into the AI space? What got you to Dubai and what's going on with this NFT thing that you're doing?
Yeah, first of all, thanks Nish for having me here today. I'm super excited about the current state of the world because everybody's so excited about ChatGPT and other tools like Midjourney, and AI is finally like breaking through into the mainstream. It reminds me a little bit also about the time when like ICOs and crypto broke through to the mainstream, like in 2017. A similar vibe, and there's so many things going on. And what I'm trying to do now every day is trying to navigate the landscape and really see like how are these like new technologies and these new worlds are fitting together, and then of course getting educated about them, like being aware of certain things. But also, like me personally, I'm always looking like, hey, how can I get onto the latest trend? How can I leverage this? Is it crypto? Is it AI? Is it a combination of both maybe? Maybe it's even like robotics, autonomous cars. So I'm always excited about exciting stuff, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how did you get in the space though?
Yeah, I used to work for Deutsche Bank for 10 years. I have a background in business and IT as well, so I can navigate both worlds. And in 2016, after I quit Deutsche, I discovered Bitcoin for the first time. At that exchange, it was super difficult back in the days to find a good exchange or to buy crypto, but they were also selling Ethereum and a token called Steam, which was linked to a social media platform which rewards you in crypto for posting social media stuff, which was to me just insane, right? So that got me into the space. And then of course, if you have Ethereum as a software developer, you start working on smart contracts, learning Solidity. So that basically got me started into the space. And you asked me about also like Dubai. I live in Dubai now for 1 year. I think Dubai is now the number one city as a hub in terms of innovation, in terms of being crypto friendly, and the community here is just huge, right? And amazing. There are so many things you can do. So yeah, I moved here a year ago, but the whole story actually started. So the first time I was in Dubai as a non-tourist was for Future Blockchain Summit in 2018. So before COVID and everything started. And there was so Future Blockchain Summit was just one exhibition, very intimate, very like everyone at the community was aware about crypto. There was a lot about conversation, and I was invited because I had a startup back in the days. There was experimenting autonomous driving and how could autonomous driving be linked to crypto. And I'm a very pragmatic guy, so I was like thinking about it. But then I said, you know what? If there is no one in the car, who is paying for like grocery shopping? Who is paying for? So if the car gives you a ride, like who are you gonna pay if there's nobody in the car, right? So my idea was like if we have autonomous driving cars everywhere, each car should have its dedicated crypto wallet, of course, right? So it can do grocery shopping, it can do Uber rides or Kareem rides here in the region. So I built a nice little prototype with an RC car, put a Raspberry Pi on the back. The Raspberry Pi had a crypto wallet, and then the car was driving around. And then out of a pizza box with the Raspberry Pi, I built a parking spot. So the car was driving on the parking spot. And then as long as the car was on top of it, they were communicating and sending microtransactions, completely autonomous. no humans involved. And then when the car took off, the transaction, the connection breaks, and then the transactions basically stop.
So wait, when you say Raspberry Pi, do you mean like a proper Raspberry Pi, like a literal Raspberry Pi?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that's the techie side coming through. So a Raspberry Pi for the non-tech savvy people is like it's a small device, basically everything that your laptop or your iPhone has, like a CPU, some things that run a computer. So a Raspberry Pi is the smallest, most affordable form at the moment how to build your own computer.
Okay. And when you say pizza box, is that a literal pizza box?
I was thinking about several options. I got a quote from a company that would have built me something really fancy, but I thought it's not really the main focus if the parking spot looks nice or not. So I just decided to take a pizza box, wrap it in a light blue wrapping, and just paint like a parking sign on it. So that's how I did. Yeah.
Okay, really cool. So now, how do you see your model being used going forward?
Yeah, so I'm currently, so obviously this project was a little bit ahead of its time because we still in 2023 we don't have a lot of autonomous driving cars. I mean, Tesla, I think they have the feature, but it's not allowed in most regions to actually use it. So for me, biggest lessons learned was being too early is also as bad as being too late.
Yeah.
So you really need to understand the markets and understand the current demand. And if you're already working in the field for several years, then you finally, okay, like I tried to tell people about machine learning, deep learning, what now everybody calls AI, but now finally is the time. So we should build something on that, educate around that, help other projects to like develop cool products.
So how did you identify AI as the next biggest trend? What did you look for?
You know what? Funnily enough, that's also it started with crypto again. So back to ICO days, I was looking at several ICOs. There were so many ideas. The one that really sparked me, and I immediately know I want to invest into this ICO, was an ICO from the guys who built Sophia the robot. You know, I think there was the last hype cycle of like AI when Sophia was talking in front of the United Nations. I think even from Saudi Arabia, she got a passport as the first non-human being, which is pretty like a remarkable milestone of humanity, robotics, AI. So the same team that built Sophia the robot, they started a project called Singularity Net. And a singularity basically is a kind of super AI that knows everything, is aware of anything. So a little bit of a scary concept, but also a little bit of a fantastic concept. Either way, how we use it in the future or how it will turn out. So Singularity Net was the first AI crypto project, and then this got me started into like looking deeper into AI also. Like, what is machine learning? What is deep learning? What are the differences? What kind of code is it using and user base? And then I started developing a very nice example where actually everybody can do that. If you have a set of dogs and pictures, images, you can feed this data into an AI, and you can either label it first and say these are dogs, these are cats, and then feed it into the AI, train it like a little puppy basically, the whole system. And then after you train it for a while, you're feeding it a new image, and you don't label it, and the system, the AI, has to decide, is this a cat or a dog?
Okay.
So this is like a very simple form of an AI.
Okay, interesting. So now you've spoken about AI and how it's exciting, but a lot of people are scared of it. So how do you feel about it? Are you scared of where it will go, or are you more bullish on it?
Yeah. I mean, usually with every technology, people are usually scared because they don't know what it is, right? If people don't know what it is, usually it's very human to be afraid of it.
Yeah.
I think there are potentially a few things that we need to be aware of, and I think some of the discussion in the mainstream media is legit. But me personally, as a individual person, I'm always fascinated about new stuff. So my personal approach is like I want to learn what is it, right? If I'm reading ChatGPT everywhere, I'm in the restaurant, I'm in the car, and everybody's talking about it, I want to use the tool, right? I don't just want to be informed about it. I want to use it. I want to understand it and then play around with it. And I think everyone that is using this kind of tool for the first time, they are amazed, right? And I think what's most fascinating to me is if you go inside this tool, it's not specifically to one thing. It's like a complete horizontal line touching all the verticals. So, for example, if I wanted to have the best spaghetti bolognese recipe, I go into ChatGPT and I say, "Hey, ChatGPT, can you give me an original Italian cooked by an old lovely Italian grandmother how to make spaghetti bolognese?" And then it's giving me like it's giving me the recipe, how to cook it, everything. But if you talk about trading, if you talk about fitness, crypto, it can even make tables now. It can work with GPT-4 can work with images and more stuff. So that's usually my approach. I go into this, I look under the hood, and try to really understand what it is. And then, of course, if I think I could leverage it somehow, or if I could help others to leverage it, I would always do that personally.
Of course. And you mentioned that it is very horizontal, which means that it's industry agnostic. But what industry do you think is going to be most impacted by AI?
That's a really good question. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of in the feeling, am I drifting? So being 6 years into crypto, deep down in the rabbit hole, like every day. Now I'm feeling like, hey, am I betraying my crypto community because now I'm moving like more into AI? But I think there is a lot of synergies between blockchain technology and AI. Personally, I think if we talk about autonomous driving, it's going to play a huge role. If we talk about automation of certain things that are like repeatedly, I think it's already doing a good job. And in general, I just I don't know. I just try to, for example, start a top 10 AI app list. So what are your top 10 AI apps? And then people usually start. So I'm asking this question to everyone that I'm meeting, and they start, ChatGPT is my first one. Then Midjourney is amazing, and then OpenAI, they also have DALL-E 2, which is also nice for images. And then I came across this crazy tool where you can make music. What is it called again? I forgot the name. But then when it comes to like, what is your number 4, 5? Then people go into, I don't really know. So I'm trying to build something right now. My idea is also that I want to be involved in building an AI platform that educates people, that gathers data, and makes it also understandable for the average person. And it's not specifically catered again to software developers. So big question, but I think to really understand what is the biggest impact on which industry, I think first we need to get educated more, learn more, and get rid of this information asymmetry that we have right now, and gather more of the data, talk about it, and not only from a good side, also from being a little bit like, I'm not really sure if that's going to help us or not. So like look at it from different angles, but bringing everything together, I think, is the next step we should all take.
Cool. So you're, as you mentioned, heavily involved in crypto, but you're also heavily involved in the NFT space. So I want to know how you feel AI and NFTs go hand in hand, because obviously with the endless content that AIs can create, people are wondering whether the scarcity of NFTs is still going to be a thing. What are your thoughts on that?
That's another topic where I could spend every day on right now. So I need to So personally, I think what is super interesting, because me and some of my friends, we own some assets from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is still, even in the bear market, it's still the most well-known, and also in terms of pricing, it's still very high priced. The community is great. The whole thing with the intellectual property is very interesting. So one of my friends, he's using his intellectual property as for his like music production and live DJ gigs. So he's using his ape in real life similar to like Daft Punk or Deadmau5 or these kinds of DJs, but he's DJ Ape basically. So we already have this concept. We showcased it here in Dubai 2 months ago for the first time, and we will bring it back, of course, for Future Blockchain Summit with some secret features as well. So we are looking like how can we put AI into this?
Okay.
So there are so many options. The first idea that we're working on now, that we have certain images of the Bored Ape that he has as a DJ, and then we will use AI animation to create like a digital experience while he's DJing as a physical DJ, and then in the backdrop there will be a digital experience that's completely generated by AI. So that's one of the many possibilities that we will do as a first step.
Really cool. So from what I understand, it sounds like, going back to the question, you feel like AI can be used in conjunction with, creating more content, but creating a different experience altogether. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not so. I mean, there's the huge discussion: is AI taking all of our jobs?
Yeah.
Right? You can read this a lot. Again, I think it's quite natural that people ask this question.
Yeah.
I think it's going to shift what we do and how we do it. And one example is there is a new job title now that came out that didn't exist last year, and it's called a prompt engineer. So
No.
I kid you not. It's like I'm seeing like advertisements and also people offering this, say like, hey, I'm looking for prompt engineers, and then other people say, hey, I'm a professional prompt engineer.
Interesting.
So in order to use all of these tools, of course, if you go, for example, into Midjourney, which is a text-to-image AI, and if you just put in make a nice podcast logo, it will create some images and it will be very fast, but it will probably not be the outcome that you are looking for. So you're still going back to your designer, you're going back and forth with the designer. If you have a prompt engineer that knows like how to specifically ask the right question and how to engineer a prompt in a way you can get astonishing results already.
Really
and this is also,
interesting.
again, touching all the verticals.
Really interesting. Okay, now going back to NFTs, how did you get started on this? Tell me more about this Bored Ape Yacht Party.
So Bored Ape Yacht Party basically was a bunch of, I mean, if you have an NFT, you're part of a community, right? That's what people always try to emphasize on, like, hey, is it just a JPEG? Can I right-click save as? The biggest utility that already exists for NFTs is the community. So I was very bullish on several projects, on Artifact, CloneX. I bought all of the assets because I'm also a sneaker fan, and they had the first digital sneakers.
Yeah.
Then they had these like anime, manga-looking avatars, which reminded me a little bit of my teenager days. And then you're meeting other people who are like basically part of the club, right? And then I was looking into projects. My little sister, by the way, she pointed out like, hey, there are so many like very like male-dominated NFT projects. Is there something more that is catered towards like female audience or has a big female community? And then of course projects like World of Women came out and like emphasizing on getting women more into the tech space, learning Solidity, and emphasizing on that. So I was part of, I think at one point I was part of like 30 or 40 communities. And then I think I narrowed down a little bit again to like see, okay, which are like the really exciting communities. And then the Bored Ape Yacht Club is still one of the most exciting and honestly craziest communities. If you talk to other people and if you say, hey, there is a Dubai boat show coming up, we are the Bored Ape Yacht Club, we should rent a yacht and just do something together, then it can actually happen. So that's what like this community really makes things happen.
I love that. And I do notice that as well. I feel like the ape community specifically is one that is really close-knit and really well put together. Everyone's always helping each other out. I think they are an ideal definition of what a community should be like as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so as well. And they're very creative, and people are really looking. If you look at all the products and the side projects that sparked not from, I mean, you have Yuga Labs who owns the project, but then you have the people who own a particular ape, and there are a lot of people using their ape for bought vapes, for example, for their DJ business. There is even like in the US, there is a fast food burger restaurant which is called Bored and Hungry. And there's tons of other projects where people are actually using this and it's sparking their own creativity. And I like that a lot. And also the whole IP rights is very straightforward with them. If you own an ape, you can use your ape for whatever you want within the legal terms. Of course, there are some terms. And you don't own the main IP, but with your ape, you can do whatever you want if it's something positive for the rest of the world.
So recently, there was news that India will be taxing NFTs as crypto, and defaulters could face jail time for tax evasion. So I want to know what your thoughts are on something like this.
Yeah, it's a very important topic which we should not neglect. I am aware of the discussion in the United States from the SEC. Always, if your NFT doesn't have any utility, which is bad for the holders, the SEC is completely fine with it because it's just a digital image basically. But if you're going the route that it has utility, which is good again for the community, then the SEC was always taking the stance, to my knowledge at least, that if it has utility, it's regulated like a security. You need to do the filing, you need to be compliant, you need to do basically everything that a bank has to do, right? You need to do KYC, AML. Which is, of course, if that's the case, you need to do that, right? But then again, there were never a lot of like clear laws or clear guidelines, so there was a lot of confusion, I guess. And I mean, if you're coming back to the situation in India, I think what this kind of statement creates is a lot of confusion and anxiety, and I think this is always like a bad thing. Of course, people should be aware now if they're doing something that will get them into trouble. I'm not a lawyer, so they should probably like consult with the lawyer. But then sometimes even to find the lawyer that is up to date with the latest trends is also another challenge, right? So I think this is a very tricky but very important topic where people should be aware. And I'm still not sure 100% which side I'm on, if regulation is good or bad for crypto and NFTs in general, but I know for a fact that like creating this uncertainty and anxiety is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So either way, which route governments will go, they should create clear guidelines and they should create clarity so that people know, okay, if I do this and that, it's legal, but if I do this and that, it's not legal.
I think it can also be quite confusing for regulators because they don't come from this background. And as you mentioned, finding a lawyer that is specialized in Web3 is also a challenge on its own.
Yeah.
So how long do you think the industry needs to be regulated? It will happen ultimately.
Yeah. Wait, let me take my crystal ball. I will ask him. Crystal ball, what do you think? How long will it take? Nobody knows. But I think it's again similar to like the days when the internet just first started, right? In the beginning, nobody knew what is the internet. Can I put my things on the internet? Can I have a shop on the internet? Is it allowed to have payments on the internet? Similar type of confusion, and I think it's normal with new technology that you have this kind of baby infant stage, and then just everything the world needs to mature. And then again, I'm hoping that it will not take a lot of time to get rid of this uncertainty and anxiety, and that we will have more clarity rather sooner than later, hopefully.
Interesting. So communities are really important for NFT projects. How do you think projects that are just building can build that community? I mean, in the last year, we've seen about 90% of the projects in the NFT space crash. So I think now more than ever, community building is really important. What tips and advice would you give to other companies looking to kick off?
Yeah, that's a really good point. So my personal approach again is I'm always looking for an exciting and engagement aspect of building a community. So one thing, again, coming back to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, if you have an ape, you can create whatever, you can connect to others, you have access to the club basically, you can talk to everybody, and you don't need to ask anyone for permission to do a gathering, to do a small event, to do a meetup, to just meet with a few other people in your community and do something together. Even if it's just like going into the desert and taking a ride with these buggies or whatever, or just having a lovely day on the beach together and celebrating your community. And then, of course, you can level this up to another stage. So when I was again looking at these opportunities that basically this NFT community aspect has given to me, I thought, well, the Bored Ape Yacht Club includes the name yacht. So let's build a nice experience on a yacht. And then looking at the market, what is currently happening, there are plenty, especially here in Dubai, there are plenty of crypto and NFT yacht parties and yacht events. But they all follow the same structure. They all have catering, food and beverages. They have a DJ, maybe they have, I don't know, like a magician or something. But then basically it's, and most of them are selling tickets for it. Some of them might be even a little bit overpriced for what they're delivering, my personal opinion. But again, coming back to, if you have a community, you want to create an experience. Everything these days is about experiences and activations, right? So if you have this theme of an ape on a yacht, you can have the DJ being an ape, you can have other projects that are involved with the ape theme. We even, for the last event, we bought like 20 or 30 banana pillows.
This takes me to my next question. What are your plans for this future blockchain yacht party? You mentioned some secrets, and I want to spill the beans.
Absolutely. So I'm personally super excited about this, especially because this year Future Blockchain Summit is still part of GITEX, basically I think the biggest super conference in Dubai, especially if you're in crypto and AI. There's Future Blockchain Summit, there's also AI everything. And me personally, I'm excited because Future Blockchain Summit is moving into the marina this year. The marina is close to the yachts, so it makes a lot of sense that we have another Bored Ape Yacht Party directly next to the Future Blockchain Summit. And we want to create even a bigger experience this time. So we want to emphasize on the Bored Ape Yacht community. Probably my friend is going to DJ again with his ape mask. But we are not like copy pasting, because I always also want to innovate and bring more stuff. And then we also want to include other communities. So for example, we mentioned World of Women. I'm trying to get in touch with them to also be part of the experience. If they are there, if they are bringing their community, if people from the community coming, I would everybody like encourage everyone who is in the community, have some ideas. If you're in Dubai, if you're part of the community, come to us, hit us with ideas, and we can see what we can make happen at the event. I want to include, for example, Artifact Clonex, which was one of my first like passion communities that I joined, and also other communities. And then again, I think if we are in the marina, if we are at a new venue, if AI is exciting, Future Blockchain Summit I think is going to have a lot of exciting elements. I just recently spoke to somebody from the team, and they told me they want to build a particular gaming section, right? Because NFTs, crypto, gaming is a huge topic. Metaverse had kind of its peak, but I think it will come back also. So again, if we are creating from our side, if we are creating a nice experience, I think it can be really exciting for people to come to Dubai, experience it, and also for projects to be there and like collaborate, co-brand, and build experiences together. And I think we had some guests also from the United States at our last event here, and they were pointing like, hey, do you want to come to like NFT Miami, or there's like Bitcoin Miami? If you look at these events, it's not an event where there's a room full of people and then like 2 or 5 people are talking and then everybody needs to listen for the entire day, people start getting bored and then looking at their phones at some time. So it should be something more, again, looking at Miami and these interactive, something fun, right? It can be, you can connect to other people that have NFTs, that are interested in AI and crypto, but in a fun way. These people should connect. And once the thing is over, hopefully they have a great experience, and wherever they go after this, they can share this experience and also keep it within themselves then, and hopefully come back and have better experience each time they come here.
So are you saying that future blockchain summit's going to have the sickest party out of all of them?
I'm not sure. I heard some rumors. I mean, I can, because I will be hosting the yacht party, I can influence this a little bit myself. But I know as a bored ape, my main priority is not to be boring. We are bored, but not boring.
I love that.
So I will do whatever is in my power to create the best experience, to have some kind of secret activations, to have surprises. So yeah, I cannot say much more, but there's a lot of things. And again, I would encourage everyone. If you have ideas, if you want to be part of this, you can be, because that's the beauty of an NFT community. You don't have to ask anybody for permission. You're part of the community, so use that and also be part of it and make things happen.
So a little birdie told me that you are talking to an AI robot that's particularly famous and trying to get her at Future Blockchain Summit.
So I cannot confirm or deny this, of course. But it is within the realms of possibilities that there is a particular AI robot which also happens to have a connection into the crypto and blockchain space. I think her idea is to create the biggest crypto-based AI marketplace, so that AIs can kind of create its own OpenSea or eBay in a sense. And I'm trying my best to convince her to come here. I think currently she's a little bit concerned about the hot weather, but I think towards Future Blockchain Summit it's going to be really nice. And I don't know, if we make her a nice offer, maybe she will sit here next time we have a conversation with us.
So what can we do as a community to bring this famous AI robot personality, who also has a Saudi passport, hence, to Future Blockchain Summit?
Probably as a community, I mean, if we all like text her or message her or whatever, then the more people who approach her, maybe the more she's like really like, wow, I really have my community there. I need to be there for my community. And then we will actually see her here in October.
Set. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. But we need all of you to make this happen.
Okay, now for the final rapid fire, I want to know a quick 30 seconds. What are your expectations from Future Blockchain Summit this year?
Future Blockchain Summit this year should be fun, exciting, should be something that surprises us, and which hopefully when we are there, we're like, I hope this will never end. And then once it's over, we're like, oh, it is already over, but I had such a great time. That's overall. And of course, I want to meet good people. I want to do networking and everything like that. So it should be also on a professional level, but first of all, it should be just an awesome experience.
Sounds a bit like Christmas.
A little bit, yeah. We look forward to that, counting the days.
Okay, now what advice would you give to people looking to enter the space as investors?
People who want to invest into the space, obviously depends what type of investor are you. Are you a private person? Are you a huge VC? What kind of money? Like, again, I would say the mantra that has been taught to us by the crypto space, always invest only the money that you are able to afford to lose. Do your own research, DYOR. Ask around some people, but also don't be afraid, right? So look into these projects, get into the communities, ask questions, see if there is a real community or not. This usually helps a lot, connect to other people. And then also be a little bit aware maybe of market cycles. I'm using ChatGPT, for example, to like ask like, what is the Bitcoin halving cycle, and to understand also some macro and microeconomics of the thing.
Okay. And what advice would you give to entrepreneurs in the space?
Entrepreneurs, right now is the time to build. I mean, the bear market is always a great time to build. Next Bitcoin halving is in March next year. So in the past, I mean, past doesn't predict the future, but in the past always this kicked off a new bull run, a new cycle of adoption. So absolutely now's the time to build. If you have any ideas, don't think about it too long, just start building prototypes, iterate it, and make something nice for the rest of the world.
Exciting stuff. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nino, for coming in. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and I look forward to my custom-made banana.
Thank you, Nish, for having me here. Yeah, pleasure. I hope I will come back and maybe we can discuss some other topics as well in the future and have another guest or multiple guests with us as well.
I look forward to that.
Thanks a lot.
But we need support.